So here we are on Chapter 2 of Hiro Mashima's new manga, Eden Zero, and just like last week, I've read the manga twice, had some thoughts put aside, and we're going to do a little bit different. Instead of breaking down the chapter bit by bit and spending a whole 25 minutes talking about it, I'm going to give a quick recap, maybe try and keep it under 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the chapter and where we're probably going to see it going in the future. So, we're going to start off, the chapter starts with kind of just where we left off, right? It's Rebecca and Shiki flying through space, and we get a little bit more, I guess this whole chapter is kind of focused more towards Rebecca and Happy, and kind of given some more information on those two characters. So it starts off with kind of the introduction of the B Cube, which is basically YouTube in this universe, and that's kind of where all the characters upload their videos and different content to, and it's all kept in these little cubes, and you kind of throw them out, and it blows up onto this big, almost like augmented reality kind of thing. And you can watch the videos that various people post on this website, and so that's what Happy and Rebecca are kind of doing as they journey through different stars. And just like YouTube, they get paid for this, and that's kind of their job. So it's kind of like when you look at, I guess we'll be drawing a lot of connections to Fairy Tail throughout this. It's basically like job assignments from the guild. You just make videos, and that's kind of their job. So anyways, the chapter goes, they visit Blue Garden, which is Rebecca and Happy's home basically. And this chapter is very short. It's only 52 pages, and it kind of, not a lot happens, I guess. We'll say that. So it is definitely a chapter 2 prologuing setup to something greater, just kind of filler almost. But what happens is they land on the planet, and Shiki's all excited because there's all these different people, and then these bandits steal Happy, right? So they're like, oh man, there's this Exceed, and it's kind of interesting. Exceed is spelled different in this version than it is in Fairy Tail. I believe it's EXXICD in this version instead of like the double E, stuff like that in Fairy Tail, which is interesting to kind of differentiate it, obviously. But then, you know, Shiki like freaks out because Happy's his friend, and there's all this stuff. You know, friendship. She's running through the city chasing after this guy using his ether gear, and you know, it's just that basic chase scene in any kind of manga or anime. And he obviously stops them. The guy's like, oh my god, this guy's got so much power, you know. Like I said, nothing too over exciting. They get there, they fight, and throughout this chase scene there's little flashbacks to back when Rebecca and Happy were a lot younger, and we see that they were both kind of on their own in this Blue Garden, the city, kind of abandoned on the streets and stuff like that. And so Rebecca finds Happy in like a dark alley, and then they become friends, and just this kind of touching story, just kind of seeing them being alone, finding each other, and then kind of growing up as these good friends. And then we get to the point where Shiki kind of stops the guy. The guy's met up with his gang, and they're about to obviously break out into a fight. And Rebecca shows up, like, last second, and she's like, listen, I'm a fight too. And they get Happy out, and there's this scene where it shows another flashback, and it shows Happy was in some kind of accident when they were younger. Sorry about that. And you know, the way it looks, it almost looks like Happy dies, and Rebecca's kind of like pleading to the gods to kind of give her friend back. And then we see this shift back to the present, and this fighting scene, and it turns out, big twist to this chapter is that Happy is actually, I don't know if it's completely or just part robot, but Happy's a robot and can actually turn into these like dual shooters. I'm not sure if he can turn into anything else, but in this particular instance, he turned into these dual shooters, and Rebecca's just this crazy shot, blasting headshots all over the place, taking everybody out, and we see her and Shiki kind of working together to take out this group of bandits. They all got these guns, and they throw in a little part there at the end of the fight that it's just ether bullets, so that doesn't actually kill anybody, which I guess is fine. You know, got to keep it somewhat PG. But that's about everything that happens in the main chapter. to kind of close it out, they go to a guild. It's the Meteor Tower, something like that, and that's like the Adventurers Guild that Shiki's gonna register for to kind of travel throughout the different stars. But then it cuts to the last scene. It's a different place on a different ship, and we get introduced to I'm not sure if she's going to be a protagonist or an antagonist just yet, but it is a princess, and her name is Elsie Crimson. And if you have any knowledge of Fairy Tail, you know that is very similar to Erza Scarlet, almost like just word for word. It's uncanny, the resemblance, and if you've seen any of the promotional artwork for Eden Zero, you know exactly the character that I'm talking about. The one that looks exactly like Erza is this character, and her name is Elsie Crimson. And we're going to kind of transition into my thoughts there, because I think that is... I don't know what to think of that, because, you know, we want to have this differentiation between Eden Zero and Fairy Tail, because that's what everybody's been comparing this to, right? Because Fairy Tail is such a huge thing and so big, and the artworks are so similar. And I think this is kind of a mistake by Hiro Mashima, just because that name is... I mean, it's not super similar, right? But it's very clearly obvious that this character is going to be heavily inspired by Erza. I mean, the design is basically the same, and the name is literally like Elsie and Erza, and then Crimson and Scarlet. They're just different shades of red. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it right now. We'll see where it goes. Obviously, the way it sounded, it seemed like she was kind of sinister, and she might be this sort of antagonist to Shiki. There was this whole thing about how, like, she apparently knows who he is, and I don't really know. But last time when the king was supposed to be the big bad guy, it turned out he was the good guy trying to help him out. So, we'll see. Again, very short chapter, not a whole lot going on. I believe this is acting as like a filler, setting up the first full-fledged arc, or even just a mini arc, maybe we'll see, with this Elsie Crimson and her role as a princess, apparently, and how she kind of plays into, maybe she joins the group with Shiki and Rebecca and Happy, or maybe we're just going to see this dual dynamic for a while, and she'll be a bad guy, and we'll see her throw down and pull weapons out like Erza did, because, you know, they're basically the same character. Anyways, that's all I got. Again, very short chapter, not a lot going on. Trying to keep these videos a bit shorter, a lot shorter actually. We're only going on 8 minutes right now. And, yeah, like I said, check it out for yourself. There's different ways to read it, whether you want to do legal or not. That is completely up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to do that, but it is entirely possible, because this is 2018 and the internet's a thing. But if you guys are hyped for Eden Zero, if you're enjoying the series so far, leave a like and a comment down below letting me know, what do you think's going to happen? Do you like the design choice Hiro Mashima's going with, and kind of sticking with that fairy tale theme here and the connections? That's all I got. We'll see you next week for Chapter 3 of Eden Zero. Hey, thanks for watching. Not many people make it this far, but since you did, how about you drop a like and a comment down below telling me what you thought? And, since we both know you're not doing anything right now, how about you hit subscribe and check out my next video over there? Right there. Just click it. It's right there. Go ahead. I'll wait.